all doing? I did promise that I'm going to go live every single day this week. All right. And yeah, I'm keeping this promise. I am. And do you know what? I really enjoyed it. I forgot how much I actually enjoyed it. So if you're joining me today, say hello. I can see a few faces already that I know. Philomena, Stephen, how are you? Say hello. It'd be great to hear from you. If you're on Instagram, I can see your name. Facebook, I don't know if it always kind of streams through your name. So if you do comment on Facebook, put your name after it. That'd be great. But yeah, we've already had some good mornings. We've had a hi Matt from a Facebook user, but just let me know your name. I think through YouTube Live, it lets me know your name, and all of the other. It's just Facebook for some reason it doesn't come through with your name. Emmanuel Ale, Philomena says, hey. Stephen says, good morning. I hope you're well, Stephen. So who else have we got on? Let's hear from you. Don't be shy. Yep, Emmanuel. Hey. So I've got a really kind of important piece of content for you this morning. I think it's really important, and obviously it goes live, but it's really important that I think that it's kind of here as a piece of content that gets saved and that people can look back at. Freddie, how are you, mate? Watching on YouTube Live. Freddie came down to our London workshops and he was awesome. He really was. Santosh, it's great to hear from you, mate. Oliver says, hello. Stephen says, looking forward to creating a film from that script. Absolutely, Stephen. I think it'll be really fun, and it's just literally aligned at such a good time for me. So yeah, we're going to create a short film, aren't we, mate? Really excited. It's a really good script as well. All right. So good to have you all along. Thank you so much. But like I say, it's going to be a really important piece of content, is this? Because, and the reason why is, I think it kind of got mentioned on yesterday's live, and I did promise that I would create some content on this, just so really it's kind of a moment in time. Even though you create it live, it's there, it can be referenced, people can come back to it, because scams are on the rise. And while I'm creating this content, I want you to stick along for the ride, and I want anybody that's got any experience of any scams that have taken place or that you've been involved in, I'd actually like you to comment, and so we can really kind of move along the conversation and discuss anybody's experience of any scams that they've had, because I think it'd be really important for the conversation. So let me just kind of pre-frame this by saying it is so important in 2023 that actors do self-submit. All right. So don't be put off self-submitting. It's incredibly important. It's something in 2023 that you need to do. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is because of the way that the industry is restructuring. Okay. The way that the industry is restructuring, Stephen, that's a really good comment. I'm going to come back to that. The way that the industry is restructuring, there's kind of a trickle down, filter down effect whereby, let's say, kind of smaller, more independent production companies are making things like commercials, online content. So they are looking for actors for content, not particularly using casting directors, maybe using their own kind of casting means. So in order to be a full-time actor and really kind of make the most of kind of the industry in 2023, it's important that you self-submit so that you get regular work, regular credits, stay working. So like I say, I really do kind of I really do promote self-submitting for actors. Just on a side note, if anybody does want to find out more about self-submitting, I've got a document, a PDF of 21 different locations where actors can self-submit. Just drop me a DM with your email address, or drop me an email to matt@mzacting.com, and I can send you that. All right. So always full of resources, always full of help. Now the problem is with self-submitting, and the problem is with lots and lots of different kind of people realizing that there's a kind of trend in this way, is then we've got the scam artists coming out. And the problem is in acting, when you've got lots of, I don't want to say desperate people, but people who are really, really passionate and fired up and got huge dreams that really fire them up, it's really, really hard to spot scams and really not be swept along with them. Now, there's a rule in kind of psychology, and there's a rule in kind of mindset, and that is when passions are high, logic is low. So this is one thing to watch out for. When you get hugely emotional and passionate about something, like all of you guys are about your acting careers, then naturally your logic becomes low. And that's everybody, you know? It's like when you get angry at I don't know, traffic warden for giving you a ticket, your logic just suddenly comes down. You don't know why. You say silly things. You think, what am I doing? All right. That is just the way your brain works. I could go into much detail. Okay. You've got two parts of the brain. I'll do it anyway. You've got your neocortex and you've got your paleocortex. Your neocortex, when it's under stress, shuts down, and your paleocortex is basically like your primitive being. That comes into action and you end up making decisions that you wish you hadn't. It's a bit like when you have an argument and you've said something horrific and you think, oh no, all right, that's why. So whenever you are in a situation where you feel like you're getting over passionate about something, when you feel that you can feel that you're getting kind of the emotions are really, really high on something, just take a moment to come down and try and go back into your neocortex and try and see everything for what it is. All right. So there's the first tip, the kind of mindset around it. And that's what these scam artists are relying on, that your logic comes down because you start to get really passionate about something. Okay. Number one tip, and actually that's a great life tip as well. In any situation where you can feel the blood, kind of, you can feel your hackles rising, if it might be anger, or you can feel them getting really, really over passionate about something, even in a positive sense where you're getting overjoyous. All right, just try and bring everything down so that you can see logic. Okay. Number two, with all of these things, and remember, I'm going to keep pestering you, right? If you have any particular examples of being scammed, please come onto the chat and join in. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. Emmanuel says you've had a couple of experiences with scams. Stephen, I love that. Set your own security questions. Okay. That is fantastic. And it really, really is. All right. Love that. So that is a really good start. Do set your own security questions. Have filters. Set your own filters. Okay. If it says this is the question that I need to ask, will that question get to a certain answer which will let you know it's a scam? And hopefully the things that I'm going to talk about now are also going to help you with those filters. All right. So think of it as filters. And if you don't get the answer to those filters, ask them as questions. All right. Now, the obvious one with any scam, okay, is that particular opportunity too good to be true? Okay. Are they? I had a parent ring me, and it was about a kind of modeling job. It's always modeling jobs, all right? Where it was for something like Burberry, and it was paid like £50,000, and they had contacted said person direct on Instagram. Okay, is that too good to be true? It absolutely is. And then so basically what that does, if you think about the psychology behind that, so they're messaging people on Instagram, right? And what happens is if you think about it, we can sit here in the light of day, and Stephen, absolutely, it's too good to be true. It is. We can sit here in the light of day in this psychology. But imagine if somebody did that to you, and you weren't particularly wise to your psychology. And what would happen is you saw £50,000 and you saw Burberry. What does that do to your emotions? Suddenly, your emotions just start to absolutely go off the charts. So you get really emotionally charged. You go to a certain place in your brain where passions, emotions, what happens to your logic? Your logic goes down, right? Because we just watch that pattern. Your logic goes down. You don't question things. You don't do all the things that in the light of day, you know that you would question and all of this stuff. So you start going, well, maybe it's true. Let's do it. Let's just ask the question. Let's just do this. Let's just do that. And suddenly maybe you've given away your details to them, just testing the water. Suddenly then you've given them your telephone number. Suddenly then you get into the stage where, could it be true? And then they might send you a little, could you just send some, money for this? You will have to just pay into this little fund so that you can come down and we can set up the shoot and the building. And then suddenly you've given away money, but it's all not, and you come away afterwards and you go, well, that makes no sense to me. Everyone around you is going, that makes no sense. What are you doing? And you go, and you don't know how you get swept up in it. You feel, but it's all about the mindset, and that they prey on that. They prey on getting you all passionate and emotional about something that you truly desire. And I spoke about this yesterday, actually. It's very similar to these companies that go, you want to be on Emmerdale, Coronation Street, join our thing. And you remember, you get passionate about it. Oh, yeah, I want to be on Emmerdale. Yeah, sign up, take my money. But logically, that's not going to happen. Does that make sense? So can you notice I'm taking this from a mindset point of view? Because it doesn't matter how much logic you apply now in the light of day. Once somebody starts playing on your emotions, your logic comes down and your emotions go up, right? So that's so important, and it really, really is. And you might think, why is he going on about that? It's because if you remember this in the moment when somebody tries to scam you, you will then say, right, actually, I remember this. Matt says, I just need to bring my emotions down and look at this in the cold light of day. All right. Oof. So that's the first point. And I'm just going to go through and just get some, because I want this to be really, really interactive. Okay, let's go to YouTube Live first. Freddie says it's so prevalent with modeling jobs. It is. Modeling jobs are a strange one, because modeling is, I don't want to say, what do I say about modeling? Basically, everyone needs to feel good, and we've got this what we call the egoic part of the brain, which is a kind of sense of self. Now, the word ego is actually not a negative thing. It is literally describing a part of the brain that we all have, which is our sense of self. But modeling particularly plays on your ego. It's about making yourself feel good and all of this stuff. So modeling is the easiest route in to people and it's the easiest way to, what I've just described, get people emotionally charged and their logic low. Because more than anything, modeling can be a real play on people's ego, if that makes sense, without being offensive. All right. So it's the easiest route and the easiest way to get money out of people. Because if you say, oh, you need to be a model, what does that do? Oh, brilliant. And it gets you really emotionally high. Logic comes low. Take my money. Thank you for saying I'm amazing or beautiful. Does that make sense? That's why modeling is a huge thing. All right. So yeah, definitely watch out for the modeling. Let's have a look. Where are we? Emmanuel says, one time I emailed the director of a supposed casting call where the director offered me a role without auditioning. Then they asked me to pay a fee up front. I didn't pay. That was a scam up front. There we go. That's a really good example. Okay. And we're going to come on to that literally next. Okay. Just listen to your agent always. They know the script. Absolutely, Anthony. And that is one of my points as well that we're going to come on to. However, not everyone always has an agent. But I will deal with that in a minute. Melina says, morning. Backstage had a scam that seems so authentic. Self-tape, then audition tape, then an in-person audition to Pinewood Studios, then the form to fill in that you had to put your bank details for payment. Got you right. So the problem there is that actually some of these scam artists, one of the major things about scam artists is usually they don't know the industry that well or as well as you. So that's one thing you have over them. But the problem we may have going forward is we'll have scam artists that start to know the industry and can really, really make it look as authentic as possible. All right. But once we get through a few rules next, you can start to, and guys, make notes, all right? Because at some point, statistically, this will happen to you, all right? Casting director named on the casting. Wow. So that really is a really progressive scam. Really is. Right. So I'll tell you what, Melina, I think you want to join the chat. We'll do that once I've got through all of the content, if that's okay. That'd be great. And it'd be great to hear from you. It really, really would. So, obviously, the first things first. If you are asked for any money throughout the process, that is a huge red flag. Some of the ones that I've heard about is obviously paying to audition. Okay. Some of the things I've heard is things like setting up a short film, pay into the production, pay into the short film, pay into the film being made. And if you pay into it, you will get a role in it. Okay. Money up front is a huge no-no. In fact, money at all paid in one direction is a no-no. You as an actor, you are basically offering your value, which is your acting services. Your value does not include you paying for anything. Your value is of you as an actor, as a performer, as a personal brand. Whatever value you offer has nothing monetary to it whatsoever. And you're exchanging that for other value. It could be sometimes people offer the services for free as long as they are getting some type of value or fair exchange of value. Or it might be that you are getting monetary value in exchange. Obviously, there's different scales of that. If you're given a share in the set profits or future profits of a film, that's fine. All of that is fine as long as you are not paying any money up front. Okay, that is a huge, huge thing. Okay, never pay to work. All right. There's so many different things. Obviously, you have to very much question any particular anybody that gets in touch direct. I've seen your profile. I've seen this. I've seen this. I've seen this. Okay. Now, you have to be careful because this is an ever-changing industry. And one of the reasons why people really struggle to keep on top of scams is because this industry changes so fast. Okay? So it would be that nobody would ever contact an actor direct, but you sometimes might have something so unique about your profile personality that actually someone might just get in touch direct. Do you know what I mean? Because you're a rare ethnicity, you're a rare height, look, and particularly like a short film. They might just say, look, you're pretty much the only person that could fulfill this role. Are you available? They might have looked at a show reel, looked at something online. So they might just cast you direct. Okay. Now, for safety, always check out the particular production company. It's only a Google search. Okay. It's only a Google search. Google search any production companies, put the word review after it, or just try and search them out. Make sure that, and obviously, if there's been a previous scam, chances are you'll see it because people don't stay quiet about these things. If it's a person, make sure you can verify that person, the social media accounts. If you just cannot find any trace of that person, In 2023, if you put a Google search, on a person, or try and find that person, or, basically verify that person in 2023, you should be able to verify that person. And if they just do not exist, if their email address just doesn't exist anywhere, if their profile just doesn't exist anywhere through social media, etc., that is a huge red flag. It means that they're hiding behind a false persona. All right. And that becomes dangerous. And you don't go meet these people. You don't go and see these people. You let go of opportunities. The problem is, in this industry, sometimes we just don't think any opportunities are going to come along. So we're scared of just saying no. But if it's unsafe, if it feels like a scam, it's fine. We have to have an abundant mindset in this industry where we think, no, I have a lot of value, and opportunities are abundant. And if you think in the right way and you look in the right places, opportunities are abundant in this industry. Okay. So that's kind of the next aspect. Let's just have a look, see if there's any more. Another sign of a scam, says Emmanuel, is when you do research on the supposed product company, there's no information on them, it's as if they don't exist. Brilliant. That's what I've just mentioned. We're on the right lines. Check production companies with Companies House. Absolutely. However, not all of them form a limited company, which is fine. There are a lot of kind of people who are kind of particularly small production companies who can go in as a personal business. That's fine, but you should be able to find something, websites and all sorts of things. You should find something, and it's scary if you just can't. Freddie says on YouTube Live, having a set way to verify them is so important. Absolutely, 100%. Okay. And like Stephen really kindly alluded to at the beginning, maybe set yourself a kind of parameters test that you apply to every single kind of reply that comes in, right? So maybe set yourself parameters, right? Is this too good to be true? Yes, no, maybe. Okay. Can I verify the particular company, or can I verify the particular director, producer that's got in touch with me? Yes, no. All right. And once you set these different parameters for yourself, and it's kind of looking dodgy, then set yourself a kind of, right, once I answer any of these, no, I am going to move on, and I am not going to be dealing with said companies. Okay. Next one is have a mentor or agent, if you've got one, that you contact with anything that you are unsure about. Okay. I am always kind of open to speak to people when they are unsure. They get in touch with me and they will just run it by me, and I will tell them yes or no. And I usually just tell them actually to do these things that we've just discussed here. Okay. Just tell them to check them out, do this, do that. But if you're unsure, make sure that you get in touch. There's a few rules around this industry, and that is when it's big pay, all right, so the kind of too good to be true, they would never ever deal with an actor direct, or very rarely. No, I will say never. They would never deal with an actor direct with big sums of money. There's a reason for that. To transfer big sums of money, in terms of acting, they want to go for an agent like me, with the experience to be able to read contracts inside out, to understand what's in that contract. All right, to look for certain keywords. They don't want to. Why would they want to deal with an actor direct without an agent, or deal with an actor direct with a big contract and a big load of money? Because it will just. They know that the actor will not know what that contract means. Okay, they would rather a really reputable firm giving out big sums will give that contract and want to do it through an agent. Okay, that's so important, because there's buyouts, there's all sorts of different things and red flags that you need to look for. So that is a huge thing. And so this is why it's really good to have an agent. really, I'll be honest with you, okay? You know, having an agent speeds up the process. That's why actually, even though people want to be represented themselves and things like that, to have an agent and an agent that people have dealt with before just basically makes it plain sailing and is like a value area for you. It's like, right, if you employ me, I've got an agent, knows what they're doing. Once that contract comes in, it'll be plain sailing because that agent will just know what to flag up, will know what they're dealing with, will know to sign it, not to sign it, will know what issues to pick up on, and it'll just go through and sail through. That's why it's always good to have an agent, right? So when companies are handing out big money, you know, the type of so had a question here actually, which is really interesting. LP, movies, STVS, Instagram handles are weird. Oh, okay. So, what's big amounts of money? To be fair, it's actually when you get into the thousands for a job, I would say. Okay, that's just obviously this is my, but it's when it gets into the thousands, you would expect them to want to have proper you know, contractual arrangements with the transferring of four-figure sums upwards. Okay, so that's what I would say, particularly, and you know that's what you are self-submitting on effectively the lower paid jobs. You know, it's the agents that get bigger jobs. It's as simple as that. That's kind of how this industry works as a rule. All right, so I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I want to say on scams? Scams just aren't always with, and by the way, guys, scams aren't always just um, with acting roles that you self-submit for. Okay, scams are with things like acting coaching organizations. Okay, not mine, by the way, who who will literally ask for, who will literally tie people in based on the things that we talked about yesterday. You know, promise the earth, over promise, just get people in for their money and not deliver much value. There's so many scams in so many different ways. Okay, experiences, things like you know, come down and will do like modeling where they'll do you you can be part of a modeling agency, but you have to have a kind of shoot first and then they just dump you and forget about you. You've got to watch out. There's so many scams in and around this industry in so many different ways. Now, the marker that you've got to apply for is value, and just say, look, even on the things around just obviously I should not be paying out any money whatsoever to basically work as an actor. All right. But also, you should not effectively be thinking, right, what's the value? If I am going to pay out for something, so say if it's like for headshots, or say if it's for showreel material, think about the amount you're laying out and the value that you're getting in return. Okay. A scam for me is when you lay out a certain amount of value or lay out a certain amount of money and you don't get as much value in return, and you were never going to get, and you've been told that you would, but you don't. Okay. So say for instance, our masterclasses, 99 quid for £1,000 worth of stuff, showreel material, showreel scene, headshots, training, all of that stuff, CV intro, Q&A, all these things. All right, we under promise and over deliver. So for 99 quid, which for £1,000 worth of stuff, we then deliver all of that. So we are basically asking for money, yes, but we are then over delivering on what we give. And that's our ethical standard. That's what we do as an organization. We have the cheapest acting subscription based on professional acting training that I've ever come across in this country, in the UK. And then we over deliver on top of that. Look what I'm doing right now. Okay. Look how many acting coaches do this. They just teach and take the money and take a lot more than I charge because I underpromise, ask for a certain amount of investment and then over deliver. Okay. But I think a scam is also when you literally handing over lots and lots of money and then get under delivered what, in comparison to what you pay as well. I also think that's a scam. Okay. And people get you in through high emotion and promises, and then we're never able to actually deliver on that scale anyway. I also think that's a scam. So there's so many things for you to think about. Okay. I really, really do. And this is the conversation. I want you to make notes. I want you to keep this, and I want you to make sure that you genuinely don't get done by scams. And I mean, the problem is you've also got to be incredibly transient with this, because scammers are incredibly intelligent. They try and keep ahead of the curve, and you've got to constantly adapt. But there's certain parameters, the ones we've discussed, that should see you safe. All right, should see you or stop you from being scammed. Right, let's just get a few comments, guys. What did you think about that? Have you got anything to add? It'd be great to hear from you. Okay. Stephen says, check production company's house. Yep, absolutely. Okay, cool to know, my friend. Amazing. Once you have an agent, be ethical, respectful, and professional. Absolutely. Be ethical, respectful, and professional everywhere in this industry. It really gets known. All right, something you should be known for. Stephen says, great value. Thank you. Got to go. Keep delivering valuable info. That means a lot. Thanks, Stephen, and thanks for your input. It's been absolutely amazing. Great content as always. I'll tell you what. Let's get Melina on for a bit. Now, the problem is you can't see on my restream to everyone else, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll try and get the conversation going. Okay, Melina, how are you?
Yeah, morning.
Morning. Good to hear from you.
My Wi-Fi's going in and out because it's really spotty up here for some reason. It's not so great. So yeah, we're about to get ready and off we go to the set this morning. So.
Oh, bless you. So tell me about what you are doing today. Tell everybody.
Well, Miko's filming. He filmed yesterday. He's filming again today. I can't say what and where. I can tell you probably next week.
Right.
I think maybe Saturday, because it's so strict. It's so strict we can't take any photographs.
They are. Yeah, well. It's professional standard now. NDAs everywhere, and we've got to get good as actors for really kind of being able to keep our mouth shut, even though it's, again, even though we're excited, kind of logic becomes low, logic becomes low, and all of our spirit and all of our excitement kind of goes really high, and we just end up blurbing it out. But we've got to be getting good at these things, right?
Yeah, it's he's excited, he's having fun and stuff like that. So he was on set yesterday he was there from like 12:30 till 8:30 last night. So we weren't sure whether they were going to finish around about 10 o'clock last night, but they finished early. So we're taking him down now, in about an hour or so, and then we don't know how long he's going to be there today. But they had to sort out an extra day, so we had to sort that out on Friday. For an extra day on Wednesday, so we don't know if they're going to be filming Wednesday or not. So
that's what it's all about. That's the industry for you.
So that's done, but we don't know yet. But so we'll see what happens. So yeah.
Have you got anything to add about SCAMS? You've been listening to the conversation.
Yeah, I did. I listened. I think with the scam side of things, I think a lot of the time they don't present a contract. A lot of the time, and if they do, it's not very poorly. It's quite poorly written anyway. So,
Absolutely.
so to be quite frank, when anybody kind of presents you with a contract or something like that, and you're kind of looking at it, it's not very well written. So, and also with production, with companies' house, sometimes production companies can come into shell companies. So it's kind of, you know, even though you can look at a company's house, you can just set up a company and just put it at a company's house. It doesn't mean anything always.
Absolutely.
So you need to kind of delve in. You have to delve in a lot deeper than that.
Yeah.
So it's easy to set up a company and just register at a company's house. You don't, you know, just so many shell companies out there. So, and fake websites as well. There's that as well. So you can set up a fake website and make it look like you've done stuff. You have to look a lot deeper.
Absolutely.
So, but so with contracts, I would say that wording is very, very specific, legally wise with contracts.
Should probably add here that we've actually got this is why actually I was really happy to have you on, because we've got both somebody who's an incredible actor and somebody who has a law degree. So carry on. This is brilliant stuff.
Well, yeah, you'll often find, I think, with contracts that if they're not legally presented well,
yeah,
you can spot it. And that's the easy thing with them. You're just right in the first line, and you can Google it easily. That you can see it is a pro forma you've got, and potentially though, when you go into deeper, they don't write them well, and it's the legal side of it, because they have to. When you've got a contract, they have to do it to a legal standard, and it is a pro forma you have to follow, but you often find scammers don't do the legal side properly, because they don't know how to. And there's lots of little things, you know, obviously with buyouts and things like that and so forth. They can put all that in, but it's the understanding behind the legality of a contract.
I suppose you've just really brought me onto a really important point there. And I think really what a scam is somebody taking a shortcut to make money, right? So their mindset is, look, I could work hard to get money. I could work hard to make a coin, but instead I'm going to take the biggest shortcut there is and just scam people out of money. So what you actually find is, along the way in creating that scam, like you've just alluded to, they're taking shortcuts. They're not going to produce a proper legal document. They're not going to produce a proper website with proper wording. They're going to do it all as quickly and rubbishly and not properly done as possible. So if we can actually think, right, the mindset of a scammer is quick, done quickly, not particularly done very well. When we adopt that mindset, we can then look at it with fresh eyes and go, well, that's hurried, and that's not done properly, and that's not done properly. So technically, because they are in such a hurry to do that, they're probably in quite a quick hurry to make money out of people, and therefore probably a scammer, which is I think is a really, really important point, because not only are we thinking about our mindset when falling for scams, but we're also thinking about the mindset of the scammers themselves, and we can look and kind of and see that.
You can unravel them pretty quickly. And I think also as well, you can check against certain things with casting directors as well, if they've put a notice out, because there's often the case of casting directors, if they've put a casting out, they will know. And if somebody else has put it under their name and they haven't done that, you can always check with the casting director, did you do this? Did you put that out as well as? And if they haven't, then they can then put a notice out themselves, this is not, I haven't done this, I didn't put this casting out, because they won't like it. They won't like the fact that somebody's done it under their name, which has happened quite a lot as well. It's happened recently. Nancy Bishop has just recently put out a notice saying that casting has been made aware of a casting that was put out under my name. I didn't do this. So there's lots of ways to double check with directors and so forth. Did you put this casting out is this you, and so forth. And there's so many ways. And as I said, contracts and so forth, they're not very good at them. Their websites are very flimsy. You know, you can always check the numbers. Production companies, you take the time. If you take the time, they don't. They, as I said, shortcuts. They take the shortcuts, but if you take the time and the time to check everything out when they wouldn't, but you'll find out very, very quickly that everything unravels very, very quickly. So then you know that they are the scam artist and you can steer clear. But also you can put the notice out yourself, stay away from this.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that's a really important point, and I think that's a really good way to kind of bring this to a close. I think once you identify a scammer, I feel personally, and I think you've just alluded to it there again, that you have a public duty then to pass on the information, publicize that information, or get in touch with or the relevant authorities or the relevant industry bodies, and make sure, I think you have a duty to your fellow actor or fellow industry professional to make sure that you take action on that scam. Definitely, 100%.
I think it's no different to somebody trying to defraud your bank account with your credit cards and so forth. And I don't think it's anything different to that. And I think everybody has a duty to kind of make it known. You know, you have telephone scammers and things like that. And I think it's, you know, you can go on any website and say that this person is contacting me on this telephone number and they're such and such, don't answer it, or whatever it is, they're trying to scam you out of that. And we have, you know, you have the older generation that are being scammed out of their money. And I think we all have a duty to inform other people when you're being scammed out of your own money, when you shouldn't be. And these people will do anything to do it. And if they can find a way to scam anybody, they will use any means possible, and they'll use the acting industry to do that. And I think it's, you know, it's just another route, just like, you know, Microsoft, or if you need a new washing machine, things like that, and we need your bank account to do that. But again, I think we all need to kind of inform not just each other, but also casting directors, production companies, even if they're kind of using a copycat production company. And I think it's important to do that, because the quicker that we do that, the quicker it'll clamp down as much as we can, because it is affecting people, and it is scamming people out of their bank account, and it's wiping people's bank accounts out. And it's also, it doesn't put trust in the industry. Then you're not sure who you trust in, and we need to have faith and trust in the industry. And the quicker we do it, the better it is.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Belina, for adding that. You've really, really added some amazing value there, and thank you so much. Okay.
Well, I've got to go now, so I've got to get ready and go take him down.
Have an amazing day, and wish Miko good luck from me.
Yeah, will do. He's here.
Hi, Miko. Good luck, mate.
Bye.
See you later.
Okay, bye. All right. Bye.
Good. There we go. So, guys, wow. Actually, I think Melina was the perfect person to have on this conversation. Obviously, with her law background and her acting background, Melina's actually personally mentored by me, and she's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to bring this to a close by saying, look, have an agent, right? If you haven't got an agent, or you're struggling to get an agent, we are an organization whereby we actually obviously train actors, but we also represent all of our actors, and we've got an incredibly successful acting agency that get roles that are beyond usually what emerging actors can get. All right, so join our agency, join our training organization. You can have a free trial class at matt@mzacting.com, or you can DM me on social media. We'll get you along, no problem. All right. And don't get scammed, guys. Really question. And I really want to end this on a really positive note by saying, look, they're relying on desperate people. Now, to be desperate and have the mindset of desperation as an actor is not going to get you very far at all. So how do you go from being desperate to being calm and kind of having that aura of knowing You have to adopt what we call an abundant mentality. Don't think scarcity. Don't think acting jobs are scarce. They're not. They're actually abundant. I've done so much content on this and proven it with the people that I mentor. If you think, right, acting work is everywhere and it's abundant, you have a different mentality to people who think, oh, it's so scarce. This industry's so hard. I can't get work. It's abundant. Now, not everyone believes me, but I've created so much content and I've got a proven track record of literally taking people, who with that mentality and who have literally gone to be full-time actors. Okay, so you have to change your mindset. And if you want to know more, be around me, that's fine. DM me. We'll work together. But yeah, I hope you found that really, really useful. I hope you get in touch if you're not a member of MZA. We'd love to have you. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching. It's been brilliant. And I'm going to come on tomorrow.